Hello everyone. Today we will practice the IPC nomenclature section. Carbon chain selection. Carbon chain selection and numbering of the carbon chain This part comes under IPC nomenclature section of organic chemistry. So wait for some time. We will start the class and some students will join. So carbon chain selection and numbering of the carbon chain. Previous recorded class that the longest continuous carbon chain should be selected, and then if the carbon chain contains functional group containing no carbon atom, then in that case the carbon atom which is directly linked with the functional group occupies the number one position, and the next continuity rule or chain continuity rule position always starts from the carbon atom of the monovalent functional group. So let's practice some questions and we will move further. If there is any problem in the audio section, please comment. So I am taking here this compound, in this compound, the functional group, these are the pure hydrocarbon parts. These are the pure hydrocarbon parts. That means it is the derivative of alkane in which the hydrogen atom is replaced by the halogen atom. Here the halogen atom is bromine. That means here bromine is the functional group which comes under the functional group halogen. Functional group halogen. Which functional groups also comes under halogen? So halogen includes bromine, chlorine, fluorine and iodine. Similarly, just I have told, if the functional group is monovalent and does not carry any carbon atom, then number one position, so numbering will be like that. Similarly, if the functional group carries carbon atom and it is a monovalent functional group, then what will be the rule? I am taking here CHO and I am taking here one branch chain, that is CH3, CH2, CH and CH3. In this case, the functional group is aldehyde, which is a carbonyl group, which comes under carbonyl group. That means here the functional group is monovalent. As why it is called as monovalent functional group? Because here the carbon atom or the functional and produces continuous carbon chain, then that functional group is only ketone. That means I am taking the example of ketone. In this case, I can tell here the carbon is present in the middle part. Means, that means if I will put, I have told in the previous class, the n value in case of any divalent functional group should always start from 1. As if we will put here 0, formula CnH2n plus 1 bond. CnH2n plus 1 bond. In this case, if we will put here 0, so it will be aldehyde. If I will put 0 here, it will be aldehyde. And if I will to select the carbon chain and numbering in this lecture. So n value 2 and I am here also putting the n value 1. So if I will put the n value 2 in the right side, then the carbon in the alkyl group will be 2 and the hydrogen will be 5. Why? I have written just previously that alkyl group has the general formula CnH2n plus 1. So if I will put here 2, then here 2 will be 2, carbon will be 2, here 2 carbon is present in the alkyl group and hydrogen 2 into 2 plus of 1 will be 5. See, similarly I will put here 1, so the carbon will be 1 and hydrogen will be. In this case, I have told only the divalent functional group which produces continuous carbon chain, then that functional group is nothing but it is ketone. In this case, only continuous carbon chain is produced. So what we will do? In this case, the minimum locant or minimum position is given to the carbon atom of the functional group. That means I am numbering here 1, 2, 3, here 4, and if I will go in this direction 1, 2, 3 and 4, here from right side, left side the functional group. If I will take another divalent functional group which produces discontinuous carbon chain, that means ether or secondary amine, Any example you can take. Told in the recorded class also about this concept. So I am placing here hydrogen to satisfy the valency of carbon. So the ether contains no carbon atom directly bonded to the functional group. That means this carbon is directly bonded to ether functional group, this carbon is directly bonded to ether. So if a divalent functional group one from the LHS side and another from the RHS side of the functional group, or discontinuous carbon chain forming divalent functional group. So here the previous rules are followed. Similarly, if we will move from downward direction, then the long continuous carbon chain rule will be disobeyed. So the 3, if we will go in downward direction, then the carbon number will be contains carbon atom. That means CH2 and CH3 I am writing because the n value here is 2, and here I am also writing S3. So the ester has the general formula, RCOOR. If the carbon number or the n value in the alkyl group in case of ester varies, so the carbon atom of the ester or carbon atom of the functional group or the divalent functional group will be calculated in that side, who is calculated to that side in which the alkyl group contains maximum number of carbon atom. That means here the alkyl group contains 2 number of carbon atom, and here the alkyl group contains 1 carbon atom. So the functional group carbon, though present in this side, it will be opened and the carbon atom will be arranged, writing the opening structure to O here, because will be good. So it will be the opening structure of the ester. So then we can go to numbering section. That means the numbering will start from the carbon atom of the functional group and it will move in this direction according to the previous rules, and the numbering here start from 1. You can think why it will be 1. If this side will contain more than 2 carbons, then the numbering can proceed in this direction. So I am taking the 2 types of numbering can be used to express the organic compound numbering. 2 types of numbering can be used to express the numbering in case of divalent functional group with discontinuous carbon chain. Either it may carry carbon atom, either it may not carry carbon atom. So let's practice some questions. I am writing all types of question. Hydrogens here. I am writing here amine, secondary amine. S3, H2, H2 and H3. Here all types are written. That means here the functional group is monovalent and does not carry any carbon atom. Here the functional group is monovalent, carry carbon atom. Here divalent functional group with discontinuous carbon chain. And the fourth type I am writing. Do the answers for you. You try for 1 minute. Told here the functional group is NH2. Here the functional group is NH2, which is the amine functional group, and it does not carry any atom. So the direction. So if you have written this, it is right. If you have any mistake, so think or remember the concept. In this case, the functional group is only here the aldehyde and all are pure hydrocarbons. So the numbering on this side, the rule says that we need to move to this side because here more number of carbon atoms are present. So here will be 3 position and it will be 4 position and it will be 5 position of 5 number of carbon atom will be present, and this carbon of the alkyl group will be considered as the substituent group here. Similarly, this is the discontinuous carbon chain due to the functional group of amine, so the numbering will always start. And I will offer some questions IUPAC nomenclature for you in the coming classes. Definition of organic compounds. Carbon selection and numbering is the carbon selection, numbering, and what you should do. That means we can express and tally the carbon 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. So 6 dots and here is the 6 carbons are present. They will satisfy the carbon's valency by placing hydrogen. So here 3, here is 2 hydrogen, here is 2 hydrogen, here is 2 hydrogen, here is 3 hydrogen. That means here after satisfying the valency of each carbon, we should decide whether, since that ketone produces continuous carbon chain 5 or 4 5. So you should, and a class for you in this lecture, comment in the comment section and clarify your doubts in the coming classes. Thank you.